Hi there. Good morning. Buenos dias. So, I am starting a blog, and the purpose of this blog is twofold. The primary reason I want to start the blog is so that I can track my own progress and see where I've come, how far I've come, and make sure that I'm staying on track and motivated as much as I am right now at this moment. The second reason I want to do a blog is because I want to help other people realize their dreams. If this is something that you've always thought, is just, it sounds great, but it's outside the realm of possibility, then, this is the purpose of this video, is to motivate you and show you that it is possible. So this is literally ground zero starting. And some days it feels like it's ground -5, honestly, because it's just crazy. But, I made a decision very recently to put it out there into the universe. And so, with that said, I am moving my family to Mexico. And so there it's out there, and I'm a big believer that what you put out there will manifest itself over time. So, I'm committed to this idea. I'll give you a little background. So, I've been traveling to Mexico for upwards of 27, 28 years. I've been going since I was 15 years old. The first time I went was with a family that I actually was a nanny for in high school, and they took me along, to help out with the kids. And we arrived in Cozumel, and from the very moment that I arrived, I fell in love with that island. I mean, not just a little bit, not just, well, this is a nice place, maybe I come back. I mean, I felt something inside me that was drawing me to this place. So I continued to go back, and I've probably been over 30, 40 times. I love everything about the place. I have friends there now. I love the food. I love the culture. I love the way people are. It's not like, I've been to Central Mexico too for work, and it's just not the same type of place. It's just a different culture and attitude. So my decision to move, it's been in the works for a long time. I just thought that, I was going to wait until I retired to move. But, the more I sit and think about it, I think, why am I going to spend the next 10 to 15 years of my life unhappy, unfulfilled, in a place that, I don't want to be. So, my original plan was going to be, like I said, retirement, use my retirement money to move down there. But since recently, I've been looking at doing remote opportunities. So right now I'm a project manager for an auto manufacturing company here in town locally, and I love my job. And so I don't know if I'm going to put this content up right away, because I don't want the falling into the wrong hands and them getting the idea that I'm leaving because I just got a raise. But, my plan is to move, have sold my house, take all my belongings and my kids, and within the next 2 years be living in Cozumel. So yeah, a little bit about me. I am 42, almost 42, and I live in Illinois, in Southern Illinois. It is a very conservative area. I live in a smallish town. It's around 70,000 people at this point. I've lived here my whole life. I moved here when I was 2 years old and have never left. I went to college in a town right down the road. So, when I say I've been here my whole life, I've been here my whole life. I have 4 children, and my oldest son is 22 years old. His name is Caleb, and he has a girlfriend named Haley, and I have a granddaughter, Evelyn, and she's 3 years old, and then there's another grandbaby due in December. I also have 3 young children that live with me. So I have twins, Liam and Lila. They are 9 years old. They'll be 10 in December. And then Mila is my baby, and she is 5. We also have 3 animals. I have a Chihuahua named Sam. He's right over there. I have a Labrador named Abigail. She's right there sleeping. And then I have a cat named Lucy, and I'm actually surprised that she's not like right over my shoulder right now. But so they will all be going with me, the exception of Caleb, with one caveat. I share custody of my youngest daughter with her father. We have joint custody, and um, two things. She's 5. She's very attached to mommy and daddy. And she loves it here. She just started kindergarten. So I'm not 100% certain that she will go with me to live full time, but her dad and I will 100% work together to make sure that, she's involved in both of our lives. If it means that she's with me on summers and vacations and, spring break, things like that. The twins will be going with me. They have actually, Lila has actually been to Mexico. She's been to Cozumel with me, and she is just like me, so she loves it. I mean, she is beyond the moon excited to move. And Liam, my son, her twin brother, is on the fence. So we are actually going to take a trip down. It's going to be our Christmas present to ourselves. We're all going to travel there because I want them to have firsthand knowledge. We're actually going to stay in an apartment very similar to something that I would rent or house. And we're going to live like we would in a normal week. So we're going to go to the grocery store and we're going to cook our food at home. And, we're going to, no touristy stuff. We'll go to the beach, of course, but, I want them to get a taste of what everyday life there would be like. So that's how we're going to spend Christmas. And as long as they're on board, my kids come first. So I have a feeling that once he gets there, he'll be very happy. Mexico, specifically Cozumel, is a lot different than here. So there's a lot of cultural differences, but I think in a good way. There's not the consumerism that there is here, and there's not that caste structure. I mean, middle class, lower caste. It doesn't exist there. It's almost like everyone's on the same plan. I mean, there obviously are people that have more money than others, but for the most part, I think people treat each other as equals. And that's what I want my children to grow up, understanding and realizing, and also living in a different culture. They are going to have to learn Spanish. That is a requirement that I have told them is a must before we go, because I want them to be able to communicate with, their peers and other people. I've been working on and I've had a lot of Spanish in college and high school, but I've recently, kind of tried to hone some of my skills, speaking Spanish. So I'm proficient to read and write, and I'm getting there with my conversation. It needs a lot of work, but, Spanish is one of those languages that, if you just immerse yourself in it, you'll learn it. So I ask all my, Spanish or Mexican friends to speak to me in Spanish. Don't speak to me in English because even if they can, because I want to learn. And so it'll be kind of a similar thing with my kids. So first step is I have to secure a job. And I'm looking at remote opportunities. I'm kind of stepping up my game. I haven't really ever gone this deep into trying to find a job, because I've always just kind of worked locally. So having a professional resume service, revamp my resume and kind of gear it towards this project management and remote work that I'm seeking. Secondly, once I secure that position, my plan is to work here for some amount of time so that I can kind of get used to the culture of the business and just get my feet wet before I make a big, move of any sort. So, maybe 3 months after I've obtained a job, then at that point I will be putting my house on the market. Once I put my house on the market and it sells, the plan is to literally liquidate everything we own, cars, clothes, TVs, furniture, everything is going to be sold. And we are going to drive. I'm going to take the car. We're going to drive to Mexico and with the animals. So there's a lot that's involved in this. And, I know some of you have relocated or expats or friends some friends of mine have. And it's much more complicated than just, packing up and driving to that country, especially when you're bringing in animals and kids and there's immigration and visas and things like that. So my plan is to document this, so hopefully I can help other people along the way. But, this is what it is. And so I hope that, you guys are able to watch this journey with me. Like I said, I don't think that I will post this chronologically as it's happening, but I found some of these resources helpful, and I think it'll be fun to watch, my dream come true. This is my dream, 100%. So, thank you for watching, and I will be catching up with you soon.